Right.
Are you ready? Okay. I kind of almost, it's too early, but why do I want a shot?
Okay.
Anyway.
We can. I don't care.
I'm saying Hey y'all! Welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Young Hot Ebony. Woo! Today is another very special day. As you can see, I'm here with the famous.
Oh, girl.
The famous Miss Imani. Yes, we share a name, but mine is spelled with an I.
And mine is with an E.
But yes, I'm here with my sis, Miss Imani Camper.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, tell the peeps a little about you.
So my name is Imani. I'm Imani's line sister.
Yeah. We about to get into the nitty gritty because this girl over here, her and her husband, husband, have an Instagram account.
ThomaniCooks. Yeah.
ThomaniCooks. So cute. They make super cute recipes and they be looking bomb. I don't even cook, and like I be saving them.
That's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation.
I be saving them though, and I be like, I really be wanting to. Like,
you need to. Some of them are easy enough for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That noodle recipe, that's easy enough for you to do.
Did say
it takes no time. Like, I swear.
But okay, but where do y'all be shopping at?
Wegmans.
That's the problem. Wegmans. I am Aldi down. If it ain't an Aldi,
I've only been to Aldi once. I liked it, but I went when they was about to close, so I was like rushing. They was very, very aggressive with their closing time. Like, they just was like, ma'am, you have to go. So I didn't really get to enjoy it. I gotta try it.
I love me some Aldi's. Aldi's is so affordable.
Yeah.
Wegmans.
I love me some Wegmans. They got everything.
I've only been to Wegmans once because when I went in there and saw the prices, I was eater.
But did you see, like, they got the little chicken that, like, pop out and, like, do the cuckoo clock? Have you seen it?
I don't think I was in there long enough. And they have, like, the warm food and stuff.
The sushi be good.
Yeah.
The seafood be good. Like, they got everything.
Yeah, when I went, they had just opened over here. So, like, it was hectic in there. Like, everybody was in there. Like, you would have thought they were selling coochie in the Wegmans.
That's what it feel like.
Hey, yo.
I love them. I go, like, twice a week. And they open until 12. Like, every night.
I'm sad for the workers.
Yeah.
Like,
it gives real late night vibes. Like,
that. Okay. The vibes with the cuckoo clock.
With the cuckoo clock and the sushi. I love it there.
But enough about our favorite grocery stores.
Right. Sponsor Hot Young Ebony. Period.
Right. Today, we are going to be talking about the confessions of a young hot wife. Okay? Wife. Because, how old are you?
24.
And when did you get married?
Last year when I was 23. Yeah.
Girl, I'm currently 23 and I can't even get a nigga to act right. Let alone put a ring on it. So we gonna get into it. So first things first.
Yes.
How are you? How is Imani minus everything else? How are you, girl?
No, I'm good. I feel like I'm in a space now where I'm just really getting to pick what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a point where I get to decipher what matters to me outside of, like, what everybody else says that matters. You know what I'm saying? So just making up my own rules and just figuring out what I like and what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? And it just feels good.
Yeah. I feel like 24, 25 is like that time where you start realizing, like, okay, I'm getting older. Like, the crowd, like, following the crowd ain't it. The crowd ain't doing shit for me. Nothing. At the end of everything, you know, I go to sleep by myself, I wake up by myself, or in your case with your husband. But, you know, the crowd ain't doing shit for me, so I'm gonna figure out what's best for me and do what's best for me. Like, I really fuck with that. Yeah. I really like that.
And it feels good. Like, you can't tell me what matters. I choose what matters. My
rules,
your life. My rules. Yeah.
Right. It's your life. It's your world. We just sitting on it.
And that's what it is. That's what this chapter is. Yeah.
I love it. When's your birthday?
It's November 26th. I'm a Sag. So I don't like rules anyways. I don't like rules anyways. So
not a rule breaker.
Always.
Oh, I wish.
What's your sign?
Pisces.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I don't like rules. I don't like authority. I will say that I don't like authority. But like rules, depending on who it's coming from, like if something come out of my mom's mouth, I'm sorry, but I still follow what my mom's saying. Yeah. Sometimes. Want real bad. It's okay.
My girl.
I'm getting out of that.
Yeah, it's gonna come. Maybe not naturally, but like out of necessity. Like it just has to come.
Yeah, cause even right now, like I'm 23, but like I still call my mom for everything. Like when my tire popped on the highway, like the first thing I did was call my mom. But like everybody else is like, wow, you still call your mommy? Like, what else am I supposed to do? Call AAA? Like, absolutely. No, I'm going to call mom so she can tell me to call AAA.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I call my mom for simple things. Like, my mom's in HR. So I call her for simple things. Like, if I'm about to send an email out and it's like a important email, I always call her. I'm like, read this over for me. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning on your parent. That's what they're here for.
Right. So, people be acting like you gotta, once you get older, you gotta kick them in the dust.
Like, they figured it out for a reason. Why I gotta figure it out again? No, I'm gonna ask my mama. Ask my dad.
Purr. So, tell me about your relationship with Thomas and how you guys met and pretty much everything that transpired to you getting married. Because I know a lot of people probably feel like 23 is like really young to be getting married, but y'all were together for like ever and a half. So tell us about it.
We met in, okay, let me rewind it back. It's kind of crazy, and a lot of people don't know this, but me and Thomas, like, our families have known each other since before we were born. So my great grandmother, she's still alive, and she's the funniest person ever. But my great grandmother, Banana, Banana, she's in our cooking video. Yeah. So Banana, she actually knew Thomas's granddad when he was alive. So Thomas' granddad is no longer alive, but my great grandma knew his granddad when he was alive, which was crazy, and we didn't find that out until after the wedding. So like that was crazy. His grandmom and his aunt are AKA Sue, period. Period. And they knew my mom like before she gave birth to me. So like his aunt always says like, I remember when you was just in your mom's stomach. Like that's so crazy. So having those, like his mom is a Delta, still love her. It's okay. Thomas's mom is a Delta, but because they were in the same like area, local chapters, when Thomas used to go to like the library readings, like I would be there too. So like it was just growing up that way, but we never really had full conversations until we went into high school and we were in this extracurricular activity group. And it was my freshman year in it. Thomas is older than me, a year older than me. So I was a freshman, he was a sophomore. And we were at this extracurricular activity group where you do like, you step and stuff like that. And we were just like messing around. Like we were going around putting like salt packets in people's Sprite and like just messing with people. And then I was like, I told him, I said, you gonna be my best friend. And then he was like, okay, cool. Because if you know, Tom is so chill, laid back. He don't care about nothing.
He seems like he just
don't
goes
care.
with the
He
flow.
goes with the flow. So I'm like, you gonna be my best friend. He like, okay. So then ever since then, my freshman year of high school, we were best friends. We hooked each other up with each other's friends. So, which is like so funny because it's just weird how it worked out. But like I would set him up on dates. He would set me up on dates. He would be picking me up from houses I wasn't supposed to be at.
Ooh.
And like everything or whatever. And then he went off to college. And then after his first semester, we were like, I miss you. I miss you too. Maybe we should date. But the thing is, like before we jumped from like a 4-year friendship, like where he's literally my best friend, like we did everything together, into a relationship, I said like I don't want for anything to go wrong and then I lose my best friend. So like if we're gonna do this, because I already knew what type of person he was never really serious about relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, for us to do this, like you gotta be serious, because I'm not on like, we gotta be friends. So yeah, he promised that we was gonna be serious, and then we started dating. So dated for what? This year will make 8 years. So we got engaged about 5 after we've been dating for like 5 or 6 years, and then engaged for a year, married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how this timeline works. We started dating in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 years of dating, engaged for a year, and then y'all been married for like...
We've been married for a year now. Yeah.
Okay. Like that timeline. Okay, 5 years. All right, I'm 23. I gotta find something to do. Okay, 29.
I said, listen, after a certain amount of years, you gotta graduate.
Yeah, but that's so nice. Okay, so this was a big question that I had. Do you think if you like didn't meet Thomas, or like, cause y'all, like you said, grew up together. So if you didn't grow up with him, if you know, were just in this dating pool like the rest of us, would you be saying niggas ain't shit, or would you still believe in love?
I don't. Okay.
Because it's hard out here.
I know it's hard out here. I know it's hard out here. I honestly, so let me tell you, because like I told you, I was like dating like throughout high school. You know, I feel like when you're in a different environment, some environments like you grow up faster than others. So I have lived out the dating experience in our own cool, right? But I honestly feel like every time I've gotten into a relationship, it was never, or I've entertained someone, it was never on like a casual type time. Like I've never dated somebody and they didn't tell me I was their wife. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like never. And it's like funny because like I said, I dated Thomas's friend before. So then when we first started dating, me and Thomas first started dating, and like, you know, everybody was like finding out or whatever, his friend literally told me like, dang, you stole my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like jokes.
Right, jokes.
He at the wedding, it's fine.
Right.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
Girl, I wish I had your love story, because it's hard. I didn't start dating until I was 18, and when I tell you, I had my first boyfriend. He was such a good boyfriend. I should have never did him how I did him, but still, he was such a good boyfriend. And then after that, I said it. I said that I was gonna get my karma after how I did him. And when I tell you karma,
that's how I go.
And literally since then, it's just been like,
bad
experience after bad experience. Like to the point where I like stopped dating for like a year and a half, like was really focusing on me, all that. And then I like jumped back into the dating scene, know my worth and stuff, because niggas be hoping you don't know your worth.
Hoping and praying.
Like, so they got me good for like a year.
He got me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Right, not gonna lie. So, you know, I took myself out of the game, and I got myself together. And then I stepped back into the dating scene. Now, I will say, I do think, like how you were saying, different environments, you like grow up differently or whatever. I feel like in different environments, like the dating like is different, because okay, dating in high school, like what the fuck are y'all doing, like kissing in the back hallway or whatever, and then dating in college, I feel like nothing's really serious, like, and that was something that I didn't realize. Like I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to find my husband here, like, so I'm thinking every dude is about to be my husband. And now in hindsight, I'm like, nobody was serious then. Like it was just like all playing house and like come over after 11 o'clock, like never seen you in the daylight type shit. And then so now that I'm graduated and like dating post grad, it's fun. I'm still having like not bad experiences, but I'm still having like dealing with niggas who are like not shit. Yeah. But I do think that like, you know, now I have guys that are actually taking me on dates and like planning dates. Because before in college, the dates, right, nobody ain't had no money. Yeah. The dates was in the library. Now it's like, okay, we going to DC for the day. And when we go to DC, we got an itinerary from boop, 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 boop. But like, I don't know, I feel like it's always something. It's always something. Like he could be like perfect in like in so many different aspects, but it'll like he can't communicate. And that's something important. Or like he's perfect in all these different aspects, but he talks really harsh and I'm sensitive.
Let me tell you something though. It's really important to meet people where they are. And I'm not saying to lower your standards, but if you're saying he's so perfect, but this one thing, are you 100% perfect? Or do you have to extend the grace that you want to get? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I always tell people like we're not perfect in a sense where like we still have things that we both want to work on. So but the thing is with me and Thomas, and just because we're so familiar with each other, we can easily just be like, yo, I ain't like that you just did that. And it's like, oh, what I do? Yeah. Because when you're in a situation where you just care about the person, you're not intentionally trying to offend them or make them feel some type of way. So if you just communicate it in a space of, I just want to communicate so we can move forward and you can know, because I know once you know, you're not going to try to do it again. Right? Like, I feel like part of the problem with our generation is like, oh, he did something fucked up, like, all right, bye. Yeah. And the person might not even know where they had you fucked up at. Right? Like, and that in itself is a short of communication. So like, just talk to them, and not from a place of anger, because like I said, maybe that wasn't even their intent. You come to them from you give them the benefit of the doubt, because if they're your partner, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. And then you figure it out from there. You get what I'm saying? Right. Like Tom, he is so blunt. He's not blunt with me because I'm sensitive, so he don't be blunt with me. But I have to tell him, like, he'll just say like slick stuff out of his mouth, like to his brother or like to like other family members or whatever. And I'm like, Tom, that was me. Like, you can't.
What's his son?
A Cancer, crybaby Cancer.
And you got the nerve to be mean. That's like my sister upstairs.
Crybaby Cancer.
Out the mouth crazy, but sensitive. Want to cry,
but sensitive. And I'm like, you can't say that. He's like, oh, that was me. Yes, that was me. Like, I'm like, why would you? You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I don't know, I've noticed him like just trying to watch his words more with like other people, just because like, that wasn't me, right? No, that wasn't me. Good job. But like, sometimes people just don't know, and like you said, we're young, right? So like, I think certain parts of your brain don't even fully develop until you're at a certain point in your 20s. So like, you just gotta give people grace, and it's not always gonna be perfect, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means they're growing. Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
That was true, right?
No, it was very much true. Yeah. And even like, I feel like I always realize things in like hindsight. So like, even like I was saying in college, like I expected a dude to like want to be serious and blah blah blah, and now that I'm post grad, I'm like, I was expecting a 20-year-old to want to settle down. I was expecting a 20-year-old to take me, to buy me a Birkin, like
to Bali.
Yeah. In hindsight, I do agree that nobody's perfect. I gotta work it again and again till I get it right. Like, so nobody's perfect. I mean, okay. I was about to say, like, I am, but what's the easiest part, the easiest and the hardest part about being a young hot wife in this day and age?
I think the easiest part is just like vibing. It's the vibes. Because it's just like, we're just figuring it out. Like, we're just, like, we talk so often about like oh, we should do this, like in the next year, like I think this is what we want to do next, right? But then it could easily change. You know what I'm saying? And we're in a whole nother different direction. Like we go back and forth between like, do we want to live out here or do we want to move back into a city or like whatever. And it's just like, just the fact that you're able to bounce off different ideas from somebody who has the same goals as you. You know what I'm saying? And you just get to figure it out. And it's like no pressure to figure it out because y'all gonna, you know, it's gonna work out in the end, you know? So just vibe it. That's the best part for sure. The hardest part, I would say, is just getting people from the outside just to start respecting different boundaries. So I'm the type of person that I'm there for everybody, like always, to a fault. And people used to call me at any time of the day, like any time of the night, any time of the day, like to the point where it would start getting ridiculous. So I had to actually create like a do not disturb that goes on to my phone every day at 7 p.m. and it's called Thomani time, because don't call me after 7 p.m. Like
I'm screaming.
People call me so late and just like to either talk or to ask questions or whatever. And like, I don't mind being there for whoever, right? But we'll do it in the morning when I'm not, you know what I'm saying, trying to
enjoy my time.
Enjoy my husband. That's it.
It's the husband for me. Like, oh my God.
But that is hard because some people just don't understand those boundaries. Like, it was my family, like they used to be like, we saw y'all more when y'all lived in DC than like now, and y'all live closer or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but that's because like when we were farther away, we felt like we were missing out on every, like my family's super close. We felt like we were missing out on every event. Like, you know, we always was up and down the highway. It was so draining, but we just didn't want to miss out on like the important things. But now you're closer and you realize that stuff wasn't even as important, as I was making it seem. Like, we can miss some stuff. Like, we don't got to be around each other all the time, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. But just definitely holding those boundaries strong, and like, even though people get offended, like they get used to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I feel like another thing, like, cause we're getting older, like we are still like young, but I feel like our parents and stuff, like families, still don't see us as the adults that we are just yet.
That was hard too.
Like, they still see us as like, you know, 16, 15. And granted, sometimes I still be feeling 16, 15. And I'm like, how the hell did I get 23 already? But yeah, it's like, I feel like sometimes they don't realize, like, y'all, I'm grown.
Yeah.
Like,
my mom
I'm grown.
I had to call my mom out on this, because like she just kept calling me little girl. I'm like, Mom, I got a whole mortgage and a whole husband. I ain't been a little girl for a minute now.
And that's facts.
Yeah.
That's adulting. Okay, mortgage, husband. Talk your shit.
I'm not a little girl.
This is not even one of my like questions or whatever, but do you think that marriage is hard?
No.
Do you think any part of like being in a relationships, do you think they're hard or hard work?
I think that people say, and me and Tom have this conversation. So, I think that people say that it's hard work because it requires you to be intentional. And when it's not being intentional, you feel like things are out of your control. But I think the hard part that comes within any relationship, friendship, like platonic or romantic, I think it's important to be intentional, period. So, like, the same way that I communicate with Tom is the same way that I'll communicate with my best friend. Like, Zaneb, like, I'll tell her, Z, I don't like that you did this, or I don't think that this was the best move for you, or when you did that, it made me feel like this. So like, I just need some space from you right now. But like, that's the same way I would communicate with Thomas. Like, I think communication finds its way, or your lack of communication skills finds its way into your life, no matter what you're doing. So when you have a person that's supposed to be the closest to you, and you have lapses in your communication skills, then it's gonna be hard, because y'all keep falling out, or and sometimes it's not just communication. I say that because like that's only been the a factor within my relationship. But I know some people deal with other stuff as far as like maybe infidelity and stuff. In that case, I just say run. But I think that's the hardest part. Like having to be true to yourself and figure out, why does when this person do this, it makes me feel a certain way, or why do I act this way when I feel a certain way, like the silent treatment, weird stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just causes, when somebody's that close to you, you have no choice but to look within yourself, and that's what's hard for people.
Even like not even being as close, because I feel like for me, like how I said before, like I'm perfect, and I really like thought I was perfect, but I feel like it's always when I deal with somebody and like seriously that I see things about myself and realize things about myself and realize, like how you said, why are my coping mechanisms my coping mechanisms? Why is it when we like, I realized that maybe I'm not as good of a communicator as I thought, because I'm quick to shut down, or I'm quick to like, once I start feeling like there's like a disagreement, I shut the conversation down because I don't want to like, you know, get my feelings hurt. I don't want to argue because I feel like I get too deep into stuff. So yeah, I feel like relationships cause you to like look at yourself more, and then I feel like some people, they don't really know how to handle that because like they aren't used to like self-analysis or
and it's hard. That is hard, but I think that's the hard part of it, you know what I'm saying? And like even people who always like, well, he do this and he do this and he do this and I don't even do nothing, but it's like,
you must do something.
You have to do something. Like it's no way that you're just like completely neutral in all situations. Like that even in itself is like, you're not reflecting.
No reflection or accountability. Child.
Accountability is hard. That's what I say. I don't think relationships are hard. I think how you navigate them is hard for you depending on where you are within your own individual journey. It's gonna get harder the more out of whack you are.
That's why you need to get yourself right before jumping into a relationship, because all the insecurities and all the, you know,
or want to get yourself right. Like you don't gotta be perfect. Like you at least need to know that you have work that needs to be done.
And I think knowing yourself is also important. Like knowing your triggers, knowing, you know, certain things, so that you could also tell your partner, like, oh, I didn't like that you did this, or it made me feel like this. Because if you don't even know why, it's just like you're yelling and don't even know why for real.
But that's the thing too, because like a lot of people are like, you should know yourself before you get into a relationship. And all right, I'm big on that's not realistic, because the way, and let me just like explain more. But like as far as like knowing yourself, right? Things change and people evolve. So the person I am now is not going to be the person I am in 5 years, 10 years. And you have to be comfortable with growing, evolving, shifting, whatever, and still being able to maintain different relationships. So like, you can get to know like this 24 self, but like as you grow, you have to communicate those changes with your partner, because that's not going to be your 34 self. You know what I'm saying? Or your 44 self. Like I've seen my family members who are older, like they've changed, and like you just have to be just accountable communicator, like whatever, to navigate those relationships. But as far as like, you have to know yourself front and back, and like you're gonna change.
True. Shoot, I'm not the same person I was 5 days ago.
I'm so dead.
Like I don't even know that girl.
Who is she? Who?
How would you describe the reaction of your marriage from young people and then from older people?
So my friends, they were all hyped. Like, all my friends were so excited. But all my friends have like, you know,
like
seen
been
us
there.
grow.
What about like just maybe like young coworkers or like young people that you may like, I don't know, meet and be like, oh, like maybe see your ring and be like, oh, how old are you? And like, or just.
I feel like all my coworkers were happy. Yeah, everybody was happy. I think more of the older people had stuff to say.
Like what?
Like, one person specifically just was like, I don't think that anybody under the age of something, maybe 35 or something like that, should be getting married or something like that. And it's just like, okay, that's you, but that's me. I'll turn up. But like, I just think it's just a form of projection. Honestly, people don't bother me much because it's just like in any aspect of my life, because it's just projection.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it, like, when you're, I don't know. I'm also not big on projecting my experiences on other people too. So it's like, okay, I think you should reflect and figure out why you felt the need to tell somebody that who's clearly getting married under the age of 35.
That's actually kind of wild. 35. Yeah, no, that even sounds like projection. That wasn't like anything else. Like,
I told them that it was rude. Like, I just said, like, that's really rude and it's unnecessary and it's not constructive. Like, what am I supposed to do with that information? Yeah, like, not every opinion needs to be heard. I literally said that, and it's just like, they did apologize, so it's like whatever. But I don't know, like, it was just weird. But besides that, like, nobody has really said anything negative, like, as far as our age and stuff. Like, and at the end of the day, like, my mom was ecstatic. My mom knows me well. My mom knows him well. His mom was ecstatic. Like, you know what I'm saying? The people that know us, like, they already knew that was naturally our next step, and they already knew that we were going to be great in it, and we have been great in it. So it's just like, my dad literally, like, Thomas said he was so nervous to talk to my dad, and my dad was literally like, oh, word? Bet. Like, Thomas and my dad is the most, like, skeptical person ever. Like, he's hesitant. Everybody, he don't trust, like, a lot of people at all. Like, blah, blah. Thomas told him, he like, oh, yeah. Like, you, because at that point, we already had been living together for multiple years. Like, we never asked anybody for anything. Like, we handle it. We figure it out. We do whatever. So my dad was like, yeah, like, of course. So it's just like, why do I care about what some random person says? And, like, the people close to us know that we're good.
Facts.
It means nothing.
Facts. Okay. That's like me. Like, if my mom say yeah, then it's like, or if my mom say no, then it's not. Like, I don't know what anybody else got to say, because
irrelevant.
Mom got my back.
Right.
So, does anyone ever give unwanted opinions or try to, like, pressure you to have kids?
All the time.
How do you feel about people trying to, like, pressure you to push out babies?
It's very strange. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's very strange for, like, that to literally be a desire for, like, me in my life. Especially when you see, like, the same people who, like, oh, when you gonna, like, have a baby, when you gonna, whatever. Like, those are the same people that don't ever have nobody else kids. You don't even be babysitting.
Right.
So it's like, why do you care so much? It's, like, actually very strange. But I remember my cousin was visiting. She lives in California. She came visiting. So, like, we all went over to, like, this family friend's house to, like, just be together or whatever. And as soon as I walk in, that's what they asked me. Because, oh, my cousin has a daughter. So, like, everybody was meeting the baby for the first time or whatever. And they like,
when are you?
What? Like, but as soon as I walked in, so when are you all have a baby? I was like, you know, when the time is right. It was just very strange. Like, it's very strange because you don't know what. I think one, that's like a very rude thing to say to somebody, because you don't know if they're trying.
Yeah.
You don't know if that's just not in their plans. You don't, like, you don't know if they currently are and they just don't want to tell nobody. Like, you just don't know. So, like, maybe shut your mouth. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Like, maybe keep your opinions out of my uterus.
Out of my uterus. It doesn't make any sense to me. But no, it did bother me for a little bit. Like, I remember one time, like, literally crying the time. I'm like, if people don't stop telling me like their opinions, because you have some people like, you need to hurry up and have one. Like, that's some of the stuff that people say, like, you need to hurry up and have one. But then people on the other hand, like, oh no, you need to wait until this age.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I want everybody to stop talking to me. Like, how about that? So, like, we came up with, like, this plan. Now, when people bring it up to me, like, in front of him, like, he deads the conversation. Because it's just, like, it's nobody's business. Like, you don't know where we are in this stage. You don't know if, like, we have certain things we want to do before we have a child. Let's just, like, that's not a topic of conversation. Yeah. It's not.
Just leave that out. Just say, hey.
All right. Like, how are you doing?
Like, something. That's odd.
It is odd.
I don't know how I would feel. Like, I mean, I can imagine that being, like, annoying. Because, like, for me, when, like, now that I'm getting older, and when are you getting married? Or when are you, and it's like, first of all, that's not up to me. If it was up to me, I would have got married quite a bit ago. I'm so done. But it's like, why? Like, you don't know my life. You don't know if, you know.
You don't know how sensitive of a question that is. Like, that's just rude. Yeah. Like, be polite.
And especially the state of fucking, like, healthcare, the
gas prices,
like, and what is it, mortality rates, like, all that.
Everything is in
baby
shambles.
Formula,
everything is in shambles.
Like, baby formula cleared off the shelves. Like, school shootings.
And you want to ask somebody
when they bring
their child to the ghetto,
right? Like, because it's the trenches.
Be for real.
Like, be so for real.
Be so like, for real. You are so unserious asking me that question.
Now, this is a good one. Okay. What do you think of the relationship advice that you see on social media?
Hate it. 0 out of 10.
Like,
the zeroest out of 10.
What's, like, some of the worst things that you think you've seen? Or, like, because, you know, like, the certain, like, topics, like if you're what is it, if your girlfriend got 3 kids and you only bought food for the one child, like, which, like,
girl, my least favorite Twitter debate is
or who pays for what,
who dinner plate you making first,
or whose plate you be making first.
Because what in the world? I am in a relationship where my husband is my partner. Yeah. So if we making a plate, we cook together. More than likely, we both making the plates at the same time. Right. Like, I don't relate to that question. Yeah. Like, I have no way to answer that. 9 times out of 10, Tom might be making the plate. Like, right. Who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, y'all are so weird. Yeah. Don't got a plate to even fix. Food to put on it. Like, a husband to feed it to, but you just want to argue. Like, what the hell? That and, like, who's sitting in the front seat? Your mom or your wife? So
they really make a debate out of
everything. And it's like, for me, to be honest, like, if I want to sit in the front seat, like, Thomas's mom would get in the back seat anytime. Like, she doesn't care. But we're also not petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, we also have a great relationship. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally say, like, our mom on Tom's side, our mom on my side. Like, that's just how it is. Because but granted, like, keeping to mind that, like, we grew up around each other's moms anyway. So, like, they always, like, you know what I'm saying? No nuts growing up. Mm-hmm. But, like, sometimes I literally just want to, like, lay down in the back seat. So then I'm like, no, please get in the front. You know what I'm saying? But it's never nothing, like, to debate about.
Okay. What do you think about the, like, who pays for what?
Who pays for what? Well, personally, I have a joint bank account. So, like, I don't have that issue. Like, I don't have that issue. Like, I just think it's so stupid. I think it's so dumb. I think people just think in a mindset of what can you do for me instead of thinking of a partner mindset. And I think it just hurts everybody in the long run when you don't think about the collective. Like, you're in this place, in this space where you're supposed to be acting as a unit, but you're only thinking of your individual self. And that's why so many of these relationships end up the way that they do with either like resentment or just the end of the relationship as a whole, because you not even acting as a team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still counting tabs and like, you know, keeping track of who does what more, when really y'all should just be doing your best. And as long as everybody is doing their best, then it shouldn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've read somewhere that like they were saying pretty much like this whole like, oh, I deserve the world, like that type of mindset is like more so like narcissism, kind of.
Really?
Yeah, like,
oh, I think I deserve the world.
Like, but like, I deserve the world. Like, I deserve this, I deserve that, and I'm not gonna take anything less. Like, it's, someone said it's narcissism.
Narcissism? Who said that? The alpha male podcast.
No, I want to say I read it in All About Love. Don't quote me on that.
Wow.
But I want to say Miss,
I feel like
Miss Bell Hooks.
Tom feels like I deserve the world. I feel like he deserves the world. So like we just try to give each other the world. What's wrong with that?
Like, if y'all are gonna, I guess, like, mutually give each other the world on some platter, then like that works. But like the whole I deserve everything, and if you're not gonna give me everything, then like, fuck you type vibes.
No, that's some brat shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I be so bratty.
You be bratty?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, so you already said that like the Twitter dating topics and problems don't really come about in your relationship.
No. Because we don't mind having a conversation. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah, that really is.
Like, just talk to somebody. Like,
yeah,
please,
true.
just hold the conversation.
I think that like phones also, like, it just fucked up our communication skills, because we're so much quicker to like go and like tweet about it, or like go on IG and like find a post that says what you want to say and then post that, rather than
just
saying it. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like, people, what's another thing that people be doing? Like, they'll see pictures from Jada Instagram and like maybe baby like rented out like a private jet for her, and they like they start being mad at their significant other because like they're not getting the Birkin or getting flown to Bali or like whatever. It's like, girl, he literally drives for FedEx. Like, he's doing the best he can. And if that's not good enough for you, then maybe you should tailor who you date. Like, you should alter who you date. You know what I'm saying? But like, how you mad at this man? Because he literally just don't have it. He don't have it. He's trying his best.
I definitely like had that where with my first boyfriend, we were young. I was like 18, he was 19, and it was like I was expecting him to like, granted he was already doing a lot. Like, he was already like, he would give me money or like pay for my lashes and stuff like that, and like, you know, doing very nice boyfriend things. But it was like I was influenced by social media and people who like, okay, yeah, they may be only a couple years older than me, but like even their backgrounds, like their families were rich. Like, because I think Jada, like, her family got money. So it's like I can't compare me and my situation to them and their situation. And so yeah, I do think sometimes like people are influenced by social media and then be thinking that their person isn't doing enough because they're not doing what this person's doing, when it's like,
for sure.
And then in hindsight, you're like, damn, like he really was doing X, Y, and Z, but I was expecting so much more. And it's just like, you know, like,
people get their personalities from social media, and that's the problem.
Yeah, real bad. Especially with TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, people will really speak in all TikTok. Now, I will
I love a little sound.
Yeah, a little reference. I definitely will reference a lot of things, but like, yeah, people really be taking their whole personalities from social media, and then like kind of wonder why, like, when they get in relationships, like, it doesn't really go well. Because it's like I was even saying earlier, like, no, you don't necessarily have to know yourself front and back, but if you don't even know your true personality because you just picked it up from somebody else, it's like, that's like a recipe for fucking disaster. So, what would you tell any young hot ebonies that are looking to get married? Like any tips or advice? I know probably number one is not to listen to these Twitter relationship advice.
Fact. I would just say get into the mindset of team versus individual, and when you're in a situation where you can fully relax and trust that your partner is also moving like as a team, then it'll just flow a lot more. I feel like a lot of people lower their standards just to say that they are in a relationship, or let's say they've been with the person for a certain amount of time. They lower their standards, and that's like where a lot of the hostility within relationships come in, because you don't fully know that this person is working for your best interest. You know what I'm saying? So like you constantly have your guard up, and that's why you do the tit for tat. Why you only doing this when I do XYZ? You start counting the favors, and you know, like you keep a running scoreboard of who does the most for the other person, because you can't fully trust that person has your interest at heart. Whether that's because of past things that y'all went through, or you just got trust issues, whatever it is, it's just like you're moving in a space where you're still thinking of like, okay, but what are you doing for me? And that's where I think is the biggest downfall of everything. When you move inside of more of a teammate type of relationship, you know that everybody is pulling their fair share, and the only goal is so that you're growing within yourself, and that you're encouraging them to grow into whoever they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So I think getting your mind right in terms of that is super important, and being real with yourself, because if you don't feel like this is somebody that you feel like you can fully trust, it's not. And think down the line too, because I think you see this a lot, where it seems like the moms can't trust the dads with their kids. Like that goes back into like what you felt during the relationship too. Like how many times do you say like, oh no, I gotta take the kids because they don't do it right, or they don't watch them right, or the kids don't react the same way or whatever. Like that same mistrust that you have for them within your relationship, it's gonna trickle down. Like these things don't go away. So like be so real with yourself, and if this isn't like the person that you could do that with, like love yourself enough, trust yourself enough to know that like it's gonna come around when it's supposed to, and that you don't gotta settle for the first thing just because you've been in it for a while. It's comfortable, you feel like you running out of time, whatever. Like I think those are the most important things. And like just know that relationships come with a lot of tough conversations. Like me and Tom, we have self-reflection talks all the time. And it wasn't always like exactly how it is now. Like I feel like now we're at a point where Tom is everything that I always knew he could be. Like he is everything that I always knew he could be. He's the bomb. Like he is really the bomb. And like the people that like are around us constantly, like they know like Thomas will do anything for anybody that like is important to me. Like they're important to him. He goes above and beyond in every aspect of his life, my life, the people who mean a lot to us, like their lives. Like but we got to that point, but through the constant communication, through the constant self-reflection, through calling each other out when we feel like each other is settling or not being our best selves, and just like working on it. And I know that things will happen throughout life, and we'll just keep having to go through the ebbs and flows. But like, I trust him, and I know that at the end of the day, like, we're just gonna be ebbing and flowing together, you know. So I wish that for everybody. Like I wish that for everybody, and I feel like you can't really get there until you are honest with yourself in that way. And yeah, you just reflect, and you just get yourself to that point where you can be the best version of yourself and pull out the best version in everybody around you. Yeah.
Wow. Wait. Now that was our last question, but
no, you're fine.
I have one more question, because you said you trust him and everything.
Yes.
What is your opinion on submission?
Oh God. Okay. I hate this topic only because I don't think that I think everybody has different definitions of the word submission or different understandings of the word submission. Mm-hmm. So some people see submission as my husband says do something, we're going to do whatever, and I'm just going to like blindly follow. Mm-hmm. Some people see it in a different way, that the husband gets like the initial say and then they get to weigh in, and then but if the husband doesn't agree, then they're going to go with the, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. I think people have just different thoughts on it. Personally, I don't like to get into like, well, what does it really mean and like blah blah. But as far as me and Thomas go, we both know that there's value in both of our opinions, and we just have conversations. Mm-hmm. And we do what makes sense at the end of it. Like, we talk through things. So Thomas could say he thinks we should do something, and I'll say, oh, well, why did you think that? I saw it this way. And then he'll be like, okay, I see why you saw it this way, but I saw it, like, you know what I'm saying? You just have a conversation. Like, yeah. You just talk to each other. And then we, through our conversation, figure out what the best route is. But as far as, like, somebody saying do something, and then the other person just blindly follows, whether that's me or him, like, no. Like, we both have a say because it's both of our lives. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of, like, being in a committed relationship, in a marriage young, is that, and my uncle actually said this to me. He was, that was probably one of the questions or answers to the question. So my uncle actually said to me that he loves that we're doing it young, because like when you get married older, you're kind of trying to adapt your life into somebody else's life. Like, you've already created certain patterns, certain routines, mm-hmm. certain habits, and now you're adjusting and you're merging those two lives together, opposed to us where we finished school and we started life together, so we get to figure it out together. We recreate that routine together. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, some of the stuff that we're figuring out as far as like things people would typically submit for, like, it's our first time ever experiencing it together. So like, why would I put all of the burden on him to figure it out by himself? Like, no, we figure it out together. Yeah. Heard. I hope that was a good answer.
I'm glad I brought that up, because like, that's definitely like a huge like topic. Like, submission.
Do you submit?
Like, and I don't know, for me, now, I'm not the one that's married, so I can't speak that much into it.
But you can give your opinion, yeah.
I will say, like, there's a lot of things that, like, I want to be a damsel in distress for and let the mm-hmm. man handle. There's a lot of things I want to be that way for. But I also feel like with submission, like, you have to, like, trust the person. And mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of men, like, they won't, like, work towards, you know, getting your trust, won't work towards, like, sometimes they might not even, like, have anything going for themselves. They might not even trust them damn selves, and then want you to like, what was that one girl's name? I think her name was Brittany Renner, maybe. Oh, and she was saying, like, oh, yeah, like, let me just drive this car off a cliff, like, kind of thing, because essentially I'm letting you drive the car and take us wherever. Yeah. And if you don't even have a direction of where you want to go, but I have a direction of where I want to go, then you're like, okay, well, come into this car and I'm going to, like she said, drive you off a cliff. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. And I think with that, like if a man is a man and is doing like what he needs to do as a man, I think like submission kind of comes naturally, because I don't want to do everything. Yeah. I want to be soft. I want to let you handle things. So it's like, you know, if I can see that you already handling it, then I'm going to let you handle it. But it's like, a lot of guys don't even be like handling anything. Don't even like trust themselves. Don't even have a direction within themselves. And then want you
that's
to,
the message.
Like want you to just drop everything and, submit, like,
Fact. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, you gotta show that you're even worth trusting. Like, Because that's a lot to expect somebody just to follow your lead. Like, that's a lot. But if that's what it is, some things, yeah, like Tom definitely just handles on his own. Some things I don't even, it's certain things within our house that if I had to deal with it, it just overwhelms me to a point where I don't even, like, I can't even think straight.
Yeah.
So, like, it is certain things that I just don't even
think about,
and I can't.
Yeah.
And he knows I can't. Like, I won't. But as far as, so I guess yes, but again, I feel like my definition is different. I think everybody has their own separate definitions of it. But honestly, I think at the end of the day, like, relationships are not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do what works for you. And if submitting for everything works for you, then do it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. What does that have to do with me? But, like, if it's just certain things that you just want to turn over to your partner, do it. If it's nothing, then maybe work through that.
Yeah. Like,
but, I mean, personally, yeah, I would say I do submit with some things if we're using your definition. I like your definition.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Relationship is like one size fit all. Like, relationship advice is not one size fit all. And I think that's like another problem with like people taking Twitter advice or social media advice, because it's like,
yeah,
it is not one size fit all. Really, like you've been saying this entire time, communication is the number one thing. Talking to your partner and figuring out what is their definition of submission, what is, you know, their boundaries, and just
deal
talking.
breakers,
Yeah, deal breaker and everything. Like, just talking is probably the most important thing.
Step one.
Right, yeah. Step one of any of it is communication. But I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yes,
like, it was a really good conversation. So where can the people find you?
Yeah, so our cooking page is ThomaniCooks. It's THOM from the Tom, and then Mani, ANI Cooks, on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and then our company, like, from ThomaniCooks, is Going Central, and that's GOING Central, CENTRAL.
Yeah. Get you some teas. Are y'all dropping anything other than teas?
Soon.
Okay, so y'all have something to look out for.
We're working. We always working.
But thank you so much.
No, thank you. I love you.
I love you too. And thanks, y'all, for listening. Yeah. And I will see you.
Stay hot.
Yes.
Is that cute?
That is actually cute.
Is that cute? Yeah, that's yours. That's yours. That's yours.
Okay.
All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stay hot. That was cute.